What is going on, everybody? Welcome to a The Sky is Not Falling episode of Buckeye Film Breakdown. As always, I am Jeremy. I apologize if I sound stuffy. I've been fighting some crud. Opposite side of the screen, we got Coach Slate. And there's been a lot of things going on tonight, so we wanted to hop on here and dive into the wide receiver room real quick. The fringe be fringing, I guess, is probably the easiest way to put it.
Yeah, man, it's definitely fringing tonight. There's no doubt about it. But that's one of the great things about Buckeye Nation, man. They when it's great, and when one thing goes a little bit, awry, like it is the sky is falling, like you said, and all hell is breaking loose, and that is what makes our fan base great.
Yeah, the gates are falling, the walls are coming down. So obviously not great. We knew Bryson Rogers was going in the portal. Now you catch wind, Mylan Graham, Quincy Porter, Carnell Tate declares for the draft tonight. So there are a lot of guys moving on. So there's legitimate cause for concern.
hmm Yeah, there's definitely cause for concern. I think we all kind of expected the Bryson Rogers. Yeah, obviously he went into the portal, last year. I think he felt that it was his time to be able to get on the field, and I think Bryson Rogers is a very talented receiver.
Sure.
He's an elite route runner. Wherever he goes, he's going to be a very good player. The Mylan Graham one, was a little bit of a shocker to us, but at the same time, he was a five-star kid, and he also feels like he should be on the field, and he's just ready to go prove that somewhere, and go do that. Quincy Porter comes out today and says that he's going to go out into the portal, and I think that was a surprise for Buckeye fans because there are people that were already projecting the two deep, and he was in it. He
Right.
was expecting to be that guy, and then one boom, he pops up out of nowhere, and it's a gut punch. And I don't think Buckeye fans were expecting to hear that from Quincy. And so, yeah, it is a harsh reality of the world that we are living in right now with the transfer portal. Um, but it is a reminder that not everybody is going to always be loyal. People are going to chase bags, like you and I have always said. There are different motivations for people, and people are always going to figure out ways to go get whatever it is they feel like they're worth. And it doesn't matter where that is. And if Quincy Porter feels that he can get that somewhere else, by all means, Quincy, go get it. And if it's not at Ohio State, then go get it somewhere else, man. But it sucks because you know how we feel about that kid, man. He can ball, and
Oh yeah.
I this having him with JJ next year and Chris Henry Jr. We thought this receiver room was going to have size like we never have had before. So it sucks, man. But I think we'll be okay.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Quincy Porter, talent wise, showed flashes, but this is a guy who I think had 4 receptions on the
Yeah.
year, was injured the back half of the year. Who knows if that was, not questioning him, but maybe it was a decision. We knew this was coming. We respect you, don't want you to get hurt. What a lot of people forget about the Quincy Porter recruitment is Ohio State had to up their offer right at the end. There were teams making pushes. And, this is the world we live in. Money talks. We saw with Bryce West. Bryce West committed to Wisconsin. Yes, Bryce West, depending on how dominoes fall, would have had a chance to compete for a starting job at Ohio State. These guys might start at Ohio State. These guys are going to start other places.
Yes.
With that comes more money and film. So we're not going to fault these guys. It's the world we live in, as screwed up as, and we are players first, guys. We've made no bones about that.
Yep.
The system's broken. There needs to be some sort of regulation. transparency, which you'll never get because now you're facing public schools versus private schools. Private schools do not have to divulge nothing. Um, you'd love to know what the numbers are. Like we've heard $1 million or near for Bryce West. That's great if you get $1 million worth of production. And Ohio State, just like we're seeing with these receivers, Ohio State is not going to pay you more when you're unproven. You still have Brandon Ennis. You have Chris Henry Jr. And there's some guy named Jeremiah Smith who came out tonight and said, I ain't going nowhere.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough. It puts Ohio State in a tough spot, and it puts the athlete in a tough spot too. Like that's the other thing. Like these guys picked Ohio State. Yeah, I'm sure Quincy Porter took less money to come to Ohio State. I feel pretty confident in saying that. I'm sure Ohio State ended up paying him more in the end than what they originally wanted to, but I feel fairly confident saying that he took less money than he would have taken had he gone to somewhere closer to the DMV. Had he gone somewhere in the SEC, I can almost guarantee he took less money. So he chose to come to Ohio State to play for Coach Hartline and for the development. And so now he's in a tough spot where he feels like, all right, Carnell Tate probably told the receivers in a text or in a meeting, hey, I'm gone. I'm going to the league. Q, you're next up. So Q now goes and tells his family, goes and tells his agent, all right, hey, Carnell told me I'm next up. Maybe his family, maybe his agent says, all right, hey, this is a perfect opportunity for you to go approach them and say, we need some more money then because I know I am next up. And now that's putting the school in a bind or Coach Day in a bind because, yeah, we think you're going to be next up, but you've also not done anything. And like that is a tough spot. Like you're paying guys for the potential when you've only had 4 or 5 receptions. It's not like in college or in the NFL where when Jeremiah Smith gets drafted, they're drafting him based on a body of work over 3 years of dominance. It's not that. They're paying these guys off of what you've done in a small, tiny window. Like Bryce West, I love Bryce West to death. I wish he was here. I can almost guarantee he would have been the starting nickel. But that doesn't mean that the Buckeyes weren't going to go out in the transfer portal and get somebody to come and compete with him because they got to go win a national championship. So they're not just going to hand Bryce West anything. And so are they going to go pay Bryce West $1 million? Probably not. Am I upset with Bryce West for going to Wisconsin to go get $1 million potentially? No. But it just it puts these kids, it puts the program in a bind. And I don't blame Ohio State for saying, you know what? We need to allocate our funds in other places. I support you pursuing other options for your career. That's just a tough spot that we live in. That's why the transfer portal's here. And I fully expect Ohio State to dive into it and fill in the voids where they can.
Yeah, I mean, I think, we were talking, they're going to add 1 or 2 receivers.
Yeah.
Will they be depth pieces? Will they be starters? I think it might be 1 and 1. You look at this room right now, and as we've talked about this throughout the evening before we got on here, you brought up a very valid point. Brian Hartline was a stud recruiter. 13 of Brian Hartline's receivers have transferred.
Mm-hmm.
And, essentially you're a first-round pick or you transfer.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like there's really that in between. And you look at that room, you've got dudes, then you have dudes that need developed, and then you've got freshmen who we think are going to be more ready than people